Well, hello, this is Peter Combs from Bidamount.com and P.L. Combs Asian Art here in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And today is Friday, March 23rd, 2018. And as always, we'll take a look back at last week's eBay auction results for Chinese and Japanese things and take a look at some things that are closing over the weekend that'll be in the updated newsletter that we'll finish up later on today. A couple of quick notes. We did pay a lot of attention to the sales in New York this past week. They were across the board very successful. Bonhams, Christie's, and Sotheby's all are doing just great. And we did a video for the first time. We recorded the entire auction of the Sung ceramic sale, the Linya Rinchen collection that was happened yesterday. We recorded it and we posted that earlier today. So if you want to watch the auction and see what happened, it's a pretty good view. Prices were unbelievably strong, just incredible. So you can take a look at that. But at any rate, on to this week. You may remember last week we talked about this plate. There was a very similar, virtually identical one that sold just a couple of weeks ago that was marked as Chinlung. And it sold for about $975. This one was, and that was a mistake. It's actually a Kangxi plate. And this one went up as Kangxi, and it did a bit better. It brought $1,575, or brought a third, 50% more, actually. Descriptions are so important. So keep that in mind if you're selling on eBay. Try to get the dates. The fellow that sold the other one was just off by, he was only off probably by 20 years, because I think he said early Chinlung. So anyway, that's that. And then there was this. This is a pretty nice looking hand warmer. It's a very small one. There it is, but very old. Had a sort of an apocryphal Chinlung mark on the back. I don't think it was Chinlung, but it was a very fine quality one, probably early 19th century or mid 19th century, I would guess. But a good quality item, nicely reticulated lid. And it did very well. It brought $2,025. All right. And then there was this painting. There were two of these paintings, actually. And I like Chinese paintings, so I thought I'd throw them in. These are late 19th century pictures, nicely done, good quality, nice colors of a terrace scene with young beauties roaming around. And it did pretty well. It brought $824. It was being sold by a dealer in the UK. Art Asia had that. It was a nice piece, nice watercolor. And then there was this. This is a pith painting of some ladies playing a game and having a bit of opium on an afternoon and sitting around. They might be concubines. And this painting did pretty well also, which was kind of interesting. It brought, let's see, get this window moved over here and scroll back up. How to do? $500 for a pith painting, which is pretty good for one of these. Okay, pith paintings aren't typically terribly expensive. This one did rather well. All right, and then there was this nice bronze incense burner from our friend Scrap Dixon over in France. He's a good picker over there. He's an English guy. He lives in France now, and he hits all the markets. This was a nice-looking incense burner. It had good cover, good color, and it did pretty well. It brought $1,235. All right, nice piece. And then there was this Vajra. These have been turning up, and we've seen a number of them in the last few weeks, and most of them bring $500 to $700. This was a particularly nice one, obviously because it's gilt bronze and it's beautifully cast. It's the casting on this was really fine, and it did better than the others. It brought $1,178. These are highly collectible, and I've said it a couple of times. I'll say it again. You're likely to encounter these in little bric-a-brac shops, and people don't know what they are. And they are very nice Tibetan devotive objects, and you want to keep your eye out for them. And the other thing that Tony had was this nice Indian bronze, probably a 19th century one of a figure carrying a child, Hindu figure carrying a child, but good color, nice color on it, beautifully cast. And it went for $470, and it's not a bad price for that at all. Perfectly reasonable, nice looking bronze. And then there was this. This was the seller Kangxi had this nice little Kangxi period vase with a lid, and but well done. Here's the bottom of it, pretty typical, nicely enameled, and it did pretty well. It brought $580. All right, it's not the original lid, obviously, but you can't have everything. And then there's this Bengkrong bowl, these Tibetan bowls in these brilliant colors with a copper rim, and there's the bottom of it. This one had, I think, a couple of hairlines in it. Here they are, here and here. These often do because they were used so much. So finding perfect ones is very difficult. And this was a nice looking bowl, very pretty, a nice 19th century one. And it did pretty well. It brought $450. It had a lot of bids, 46 bids. All right, and then we had this up. This is one of these, a few months ago, there was a Peking enamel piece that had sort of the same type of decoration, these large-scale figures filling the center. And here's another one of these. It's a rather popular thing, very much in the Chinese taste, with this one with butterflies. It had a bit of wear to the gilding here and there, but a nice example overall, in pretty good shape. And it did pretty well. It brought $720, and this is not a large dish. This is, I think, about a 7 or 8 inch dish. All right, and moving along to this. This was that Dewa wine ewer with chimera handle and chimera spout and a little baby dragon on the top there. This was a nice thing. I liked this, and there's the bottom of it. It looks exactly right, 18th century, and it brought $1,525, which was a good result. That's right about exactly where it should be. All right, and this we don't do a lot with Japanese, but this was a very nice Japanese plate. I thought very classic, circa 1680, blue and white, very typical landscape of the best quality that you see on these, and with the pine tree arching over out of the rocks. A lovely plate. And this was a big one. It was over 12 inches, 12 and a half inches, and it had a hairline in it, and it went for $276, which was very reasonable for these. This is a nice looking piece of early porcelain. He called it 17th and 18th century. It's actually just 17th century. I think that everybody agrees most of these were made prior to 1700. All right, and then this nice pair of Yongshen Famille rose plates with these nice black outlines, creating the border with these roux head and so forth, and precious objects in the center. Nice pair, very attractive pair, and these went very reasonably, $350. All right, that's not a bad price for those at all. Nice pair of 18th century dishes. All right, and then this was a Hess Auctions got this. This was a collection of Kangxi pieces that they put up, and as I mentioned last week, they didn't say they were Kangxi, but they were, and there were quite a few of them, from a collection in France, as I recall. And this one had an old repair on the lid, which is very obvious. The finial had been replaced, but the pot was very nice, and the color of the cobalt was excellent on these, with the Buddhist symbols and precious objects and so forth running around the top. And this did quite well. It brought $7,611, which is a good price for that, but very fine quality blue and white. Beautifully done. That was a hot food pot. You can see it had the holes. This is what they have, the holes on the ends for the wire handles. All right, and they also had this beautiful incense burner. Lovely color, nice, snow white porcelain. Fabulously well decorated. Here's the bottom of it. It did have a firing line in the center. This wasn't a damage crack, it was just from the firing. But that beautiful white Kangxi foot, just the way you want to see it. Here's another view of the bottom, exactly how these should look. And this did rather well too, $3,910, which is pretty much the range for these. This is sort of what they bring. All right. So it was a nice thing. And then moving along to this was Qing period had this up. A very, very nice Jiajing late Ming period spotted deer dish. Beautifully done, and nice deep cobalt on it. And it was a good size, as I recall. I forget how big it was, but it was a charger, as I recall. It was like 13 or 14 inches. It did pretty well. It brought $2,150. Not bad. Very pretty though. Beautiful. I love those pieces, that deep cobalt. And he also had this up, a Zhundi mark on it, but it's a Kangxi plate with the Three Friends of Winter pattern, and beautifully done with the birds. And actually, this isn't Three Friends of Winter. This is just pine trees. Okay, never mind that. It's just pine trees, but with the storks and a lovely looking plate. And this did quite well also. It brought $1,251. All right, and that was it for the week. There were a lot of good things. If you get the newsletter, you see how many things were on there this week. We didn't know where to start, actually, because there were so many good results. All right, but we're going to take a look ahead at this week's stuff, see what we're going to be putting in the newsletter that we've seen so far. One is this. This is a very nice, probably Daoguan, first half of the 19th century export plate, but very much in the Chinese taste, with the Liuhan riding on the mule, and attendants following along with objects and books and so forth. And then there was this rather nice late 19th century Famille rose vase done in soft colors, very pastel-y Famille rose, very nice, with yellow lions, food lion heads. I like that touch. It sort of punches it up a little bit. And onto this. This is our friend down in the Carolinas. Has a beautiful jade mirror with jade handle. This is the back of the mirror, obviously, the backing with a figural scene on it, and this nice handle, and set in silver. And it's up to $2,275. That ends, I think, on Sunday. Yeah, it ends on Sunday. So you want to check that out if you're a jade buyer. He also has a bunch of other things up too, so you might check out all of his things. All right. And I wanted to mention this. Let me see here. We'll go back to this for a second here. We've decided we're going to put. We came across some really nice Chinese rugs, and these, if you know Chinese rugs at all, these at a glance you're going to think are from the 1930s. These aren't. These are old rugs. These are late 19th century Chinese rugs, I think. Beautifully done, but they're in amazing condition. There are two of them. They're both 4x7. So if you're at all interested in Chinese carpets, check these out this week. They're coming from a seller out in California, in Beverly Hills. His username is Lord Halifax, and he actually does get good rugs out there. And we're going to put a couple of rugs in. And another seller we hadn't seen before came up with some, well, I think maybe once or twice we have, but not often, some Wanli frog form kendies. And there's two of these listed separately. And these are nice kendies. These are good old ones, good Wanli examples. See if we can get a picture of the bottom. There's the base to it, very typical Wanli paste. All right, nicely decorated. It's got these Tibetan metal cast mounts on them and so forth. And we'll see how these do, okay? But these are nice. Right now, it's up to $449 with 6 bids. I suspect they'll go higher. These are sort of unusual, all righty? And this, if you're a Kangxi panel buyer, we spotted this week. This is like the Festival of Monks and Immortals. This is a really nice Kangxi panel. It's 19th century, but very fine quality, really, really fine quality. And if you come over and you blow it up, you'll see what I mean. Beautifully colored, these nice soft sherbet colors, or soft peachy colors, but very fine quality all the way around. I don't know what the reserve is on. It's up to $510, but it'll probably get up into the $1,200 to $1,500, $1,800 range. It's a good panel. It's a very nice panel, and it's big. It's like 40 inches. All right, and then this is a seller, Orlando Shores, has this up. This is a European form Kangxi, sort of a medicine pot. There it is. Here's the bottom of it. It's a nice piece. These are it's a fairly rare type, made for mostly for the European market, and it's in nice condition, and it's up to just $28. It ends next Wednesday, but that also will be in the newsletter this week, so check that out, okay? And next week, when we get squared away and we get our regular business around here done, we'll do a video on some of the other stuff. I want to talk about how the Jerry Tang collection did really well, set a record price for a Kangxi Famille vase. And some of the other sales did extremely well too. The bronzes and so forth went through the roof. All right, so that's it. So thanks for visiting, and have a great weekend. And if you haven't signed up here yet as a subscriber on YouTube, or signed up at Bidamount.com for the weekly newsletter, please do. It's all free. And have a wonderful weekend, and good luck out there hunting around, and I hope everybody finds something terrific. All right, if you do, come over and put it on the forum. Share pictures. We like to see pictures of things. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye.